Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll show you how to create this cute pouch using crochet squares, popularly known as granny squares. To make this pouch, we'll only need 2 granny squares. This project is super simple and quick, making it perfect for those who are just starting out in crochet. This video will be divided into 2 parts. In the first one, I'll show how I made this granny square, and in the second, we'll make the pouch. Let's get started. I'll be using these colors to make the square, but feel free to choose your preferred colors. I'll use a 2mm hook. You can find all the materials listed in the video description. To create the granny square, we'll start by making a magic ring. Chain up 2. These chains will serve as our initial double crochet. Then, work 2 more double crochets in the magic ring. Now, we have 3 double crochets, forming one group. Next, chain 2. These chains will be the corner of our square. Now, make 3 double crochets in the magic ring. Now we have our second group. Chain 2 again and make 3 double crochets in the magic ring. This gives us our third group of double crochets. Again, chain 2 and make 3 more double crochets. We now have 4 groups of double crochets. We'll make 2 more chains, which will be the last corner of the square. You can close the magic ring. Now, join with a slip stitch in the second chain we made at the beginning of the magic ring, which counts as the first double crochet. Chain 1 to secure the stitch, and then cut the yarn. You can already see the square forming in this first round. With the first round complete, let's choose another corner of the square to start with the new color. Begin with 2 chains, counting as the first double crochet. Now, make 2 double crochets. Notice that I'm hiding the yarn behind the stitches to secure it. Using this color changing technique, you won't be able to see where each round starts and ends. We now have our first group of 3 double crochets. Chain 2, and make 3 more double crochets in this corner. In the corner of the square, you'll always have one group of 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and another group of 3 double crochets. Continue to the next corner of the square. Begin with 3 double crochets. Also, hide the yarn from the previous round behind the stitches in this corner, as it'll make it much easier when we need to fasten off. Complete the first group of double crochets. Chain 2, and add 3 more double crochets in this corner. Moving on to the next corner, I'll continue fastening off the yarn from the previous round in this corner to secure it. Again, work a group of 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and another group. In the last corner of the square, repeat the same sequence of 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and 3 double crochets. To finish off this round, make a slip stitch in the first double crochet we made at the beginning of the round. Chain 1 to secure it, and then cut the yarn. Notice that in this second round, in addition to the holes in the corners, we also have one here in the middle of each side of the square. Let's start the next round with a different color. Choose the opposite corner from where we finished. Once again, chain 2, which will count as 1 double crochet, plus 2 more double crochets. Now, we have our first group. Chain 2 again, and make another group of 3 double crochets. Always remember to hide the yarn behind the stitch. Now, we have this hole in the middle of the square. Here, we'll make only one group of 3 double crochets. Some people might chain 1 and crochet the group of 3 double crochets on the side of the square, then chain 1 again to start to work in the other corner. However, since we're making a pouch and we don't want big holes in the squares, I'll just jump to the next hole and not make the chain. I'm going to start fastening off the yarn from the previous round now. We have our group here, and now let's skip to the corner of the square. I'll continue fastening off the yarn in this corner to make sure it won't come loose. We'll make 3 double crochets. Two chains. And another 3 double crochets. In the middle of the square, we'll make 3 double crochets. Let's move to the next corner, where we'll make another group of 3 double crochets, 2 chains, and another group of 3 double crochets. In this hole in the middle of the square, we'll make a group of 3 double crochets. Repeat this until you reach the other side. I've finished the last group of double crochets in the middle of the square. To finish off this round, make a slip stitch in the first double crochet, and chain 1. Now we have the square with 4 corners and these 2 little holes on each side of the squares. Let's continue by making 1 group plus 2 chains plus 1 group in the corners of the square, and in the holes on the sides of the square, just 1 group of 3 double crochets. I'll do one more round with you. Remember, start in the opposite corner from where you finished the previous round. In the corners, make 1 group, 2 chains, and 1 group. Make one group in each hole on the sides. Finish with a slip stitch and a chain. This time, we have 3 holes here. With each round we make, one more hole will appear. Continue repeating this sequence until you reach the desired size for the square. I've finished my square and completed 7 rounds in total, with the last 2 being the same color. I'll use a needle to fasten off only the yarn from the magic ring. Now, we can cut the remaining yarn without any problem, as we've already secured it while making the square. It's super simple, isn't it? And this is how our crochet square turned out. I haven't cut this yarn yet because we'll fasten it off shortly. Let's assemble the pouch. We'll leave this part down here, at the bottom of our pouch. This marking is for us to know where we'll sew on the zipper. Starting from the first chain in the corner, I skipped 8 stitches and marked the 9th stitch on both sides of the square. We'll make single crochets all around the granny square, working only in the back loops of the stitches. I made a chain, which counts as the first single crochet, and I'll continue making the single crochets. Don't forget to fasten off the yarn while making the stitches. I'll finish this round with a slip stitch. Now, I'll chain 1 and continue making single crochets until I reach the marked stitch we made earlier. We can crochet in both loops of stitch in this round. We've reached the marking. I'll finish with a chain to secure it. We'll leave a long piece of yarn to sew with later. And that's how it turned out. Let's repeat the same process to create another granny square. It's time to sew the two parts together. We need to align the two sides of the pouch at that zipper marking we made earlier. We'll sew with the squares inside out to ensure a clean finish. Sew normally until you reach the other side. I'll use a 12cm zipper, but you should choose one according to the size of your piece. Let's position it in this space here. You can sew it however you find easiest. I'll use a thread that matches the color of the pouch and I'll catch the loops of the stitches, as I show in the video. This way, the finish looks very discreet. I'll cut a piece of felt the size of the pouch and whip stitch it on the sides to make the lining. I'll round the corners so they don't catch on the zipper. I sewed the lining with very small stitches close to the zipper. And with that, we've finished our granny square pouch. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and feel inspired to create your own pieces with granny squares. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share with your friends, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any content. Until next time.